Am I live? Is anyone here? Let's see. Hi. Can you guys? Lilo, Ron, calm down. Come on, stop. Can you guys hear me? I know you can hear me. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Bikers. Sorry, these guys will come down in a minute. Yes, good. Let me give them a bone. That always seems to work. Hi, Cole's here. Striker's here. Barbara's here. Thank you for being here. It's a little bit of. I'm doing this kind of low tech just on my laptop because it seems like anytime I try to get fancy. Hi, Robert. Some kind of tech problem happens, but it looks like we're on and we're doing good. Hopefully you can hear me and see me, and it's not too low tech. So I'm so. Hi, Ormond by the Sea, Barbara. Yes, that's where that's where I'm from. I'm going to put on my fan because maybe not. Maybe this fan. I'm getting hot. Okay, maybe hopefully that doesn't make too much noise. So, hi, good evening. It's so good to be here. I haven't put out a video in a while, and it's so nice to be here and that you guys are here to support me. I really appreciate that, and I appreciate that you haven't forgotten about me. When I'm traveling, I'm back in. Of course, I'm always traveling, but I'm back in the U.S. in the lower 48. I was in Alaska, if you didn't know, for a couple of months, and I'm back in the lower 48. So yes, it has been a while, and it's so good to hear from all of you guys. I'm ironing out some things as I travel and just coming to some personal realizations, because now like my travel is totally different. Before it was always rushing back to Florida to see my parents, and I'm still in that rush mood, and I'm always like traveling and rushing off to something, and I had to just think about it. I don't have to, this is my life now. If I need to edit or do something for YouTube, I can stop for a couple of days and do that. So I'm kind of getting into a new normal and trying to stay out of my way so I can create and do the things that I love to do. So it means so much to me that you guys are here still supporting me. Yeah, and live streams always would freak me out. But today I just it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. I didn't get into my head about what was going to go wrong with the tech, and it seems to have gone pretty smoothly. So I'm so happy to be here. Okay, let's see if anybody has anything. Thank you. Thank you for the compliments, golf addict. That's very nice of you. Yes. Spikers is asking about the new camper. Yes, I do have a new camper. When I didn't plan it. I guess I'm gonna do a video about my old camper. Sorry. Now they know when they're annoying, they get treats, so they become more annoying. When I was in Alaska, thank you, Dark 50AD said they loved the last video. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. When I was in Alaska, my window fell off of the Sears. I was traveling with a friend and I went to open the big dinette window that's like over here, and that is huge, and that is one of the reasons why I bought that camper. And it actually just fell off, and it didn't hit the ground because I was with a friend, and she was able to go and grab the other side, and we were able to pull it in and kind of secure it. And then I was online researching, and I've heard that in the Sears sometimes like this can happen. And so I went down the rabbit hole of researching, and this video pops up, and it was from a camper manufacturer that repaired one of those windows. And at the time we were in Seward, Alaska, and they were in Palmer, which I spent some time in Palmer, and it was an hour and a half away. And that kind of blew me away because it's like they could be anywhere in the world, and this guy's in Palmer. So I called them. They got me in like 3 days later when I dropped my friend off at the airport, and they repaired the window. And before I went there, I was looking on their website, and I saw this camper that they had as a demo that was for sale. And I'm like, well, if I go up there and they still have it, I'll look at it. Well, they still had it. And, long story short, I made an offer, and we were able to come to a price. And this is my new camper. It was, the manufacturer was, cash, they call it cache, or cache, CACHE campers. And they're in Palmer. They're a smaller manufacturer of truck campers. And just going to throw up after this. I don't know how they're eating these so quickly because they're like little chew bones, but she eats them really quickly. Unless she's burying them up there, which is possible too. But they make truck campers and also toppers, and they've been in business since 1971. They also do camper repairs. That's how I found them. So yeah, so I was going to do a whole video on the tour of the camper. Also, David from Cache Campers, he just released a video yesterday just comparing my two campers and kind of talking about the reasons why I went with this camper. I mean, I love my Cirrus, my new camp. I was in there for 5 years. And the thing about campers is they're not really meant for full-time use. So I don't, and yeah, I read somebody said that the Alaska Rose rattled the camper to death. And yeah, I believe that. Because on the Alcan, there were certain parts of it that were really like gravel and rough roads and potholes. So yeah, I really believe that. And what David, the owner of Cache Campers, was saying that, or Cache Campers, that because the Cirrus is aluminum framing, it's not really, it's basically adhesive on, which seems to work because there's nothing really to bite into if you're going to screw it in. So I don't know, that made sense. So there's like pros and cons with the different construction. For the most part, I thought my Cirrus was doing really good. And when that happened, I was like, well, it might be time. I've lived in this thing for 5 years, over 5 years. And yeah, I got it in 2020. And maybe it's time for it to find a new owner. And not that anything was bad about it. There's things that I loved about it. But it's just the nature of a camper. Okay, let me see. Oh, thank you. I got some happy belated birthdays. Yeah, I turned 61 last week. So really happy about that. Yeah, change is good, Patty. That's very true. And I felt like that I mean, she knows I'm going to give these to her. It's too much. She's going to get sick. Yeah, and I felt like that too. Like I didn't really, when I went up to Alaska, I didn't think I was going to get a new camper. That wasn't even on my radar, but I don't know, like, if you guys think this way, but I think when things are presented to me and I just go with them, it's kind of like life, kind of like giving me a gift, showing me the way, just fate, the divine intervention, whatever, that when things like that are presented to me, I feel like, all right, there's a reason why. Like there's a reason why this guy David's video came up out of all the people in the world. And there's a reason why, you know, I saw this camper and thought, okay, this camper can work for me. If it's still there, you know, maybe I'll buy it. I don't know. So yeah. The dogs. Yeah, the dogs do have me trained well. They really do. And they know when I get on a phone call or a Zoom call, this is what happens. Here, Ron's over here. He's being pretty good, but Lilo knows that she can get treats. All right. This is not, come here. If I put her on my lap, she might shut up, but I'll give her one more. That's it. One more. So, but so far I really love this camper. And one of the things that really sold me is when I went to Cash Campers to get the Sears window fixed. And then also I had an appointment at Sears the end of August 25th to get my cabinet fixed because the cabinet was sagging a little bit. And I had like 3 Orby guys look at it and they said it's a design flaw. I noticed they don't put those cabinets in the later models. I think that was the last model they put that cabinet in, because it's a full cabinet with doors that's over the dinette. And now they just have like a little shelf with like cargo netting like this. And they were saying it's a design flaw because there was nothing in supporting it from the middle. So, you know, I mean, it wasn't like the whole thing was falling down, but I could tell in the ends it was sagging a little bit. So I had Cash Camper, since I was there, fix it. Okay. I don't know what to do about this. And they did such a good job. I mean, their workmanship was just amazing. It was so secure, where New Camp fixed that cabinet before, and it was nothing near the job that Cash Campers did. And like talking to the owner, David, he was saying that they can put a lot more quality into their work because they're a smaller builder, where, you know, big camper manufacturers, you know, they're done on an assembly line, and it has to be economical, and it has to make sense for their bottom line. So I don't know. So that kind of sold me on the camper when I saw what a great job they did. Okay. 61. I would have thought 41. That's very sweet. Thank you. Let's see. Yeah, my dogs are trained very well. They know they can get away with this. Oh, let's hope they keep it down. But I ended up staying in Alaska a lot longer than I thought because of the camper. And my camper is actually up there for sale. They had to do a few things to it because I took out the toilet, and if I keep her on my lap, she'll be quiet if I'm petting her. I took out the toilet to put in a composting toilet, but the black tank and everything were still all intact. So they had to put in a new toilet and do a few little things. I mean, there was everything, all the systems were working great. And it was just like a few things that they needed to do. So do you belong to camping groups that met up on the road? I don't. I would like to belong to different groups, but I don't currently. I did go up to Palmer, Alaska to go to Van Stock, but that was like an event. It wasn't like a group. But yeah, I would love to be a part of groups, like meet people, maybe travel together sometimes, or just meet up to camp out. Yeah, that would be so fun. And it sounds weird, but like when my parents were alive, it was like I was traveling a lot differently because I always had to keep going back to Florida, and I spent a lot of time in Florida. So I was kind of going to see my daughter and going to see different friends and family, and then rushing back to Florida. So I never even, that wasn't even, I wasn't even thinking about groups or meet up with people on the road. But now I'm like totally into that. I would love that. What are your plans on travels in the near future? So right now I'm in Michigan, and I'm going to see my son. He's in Michigan, and then I'm going to start going west. I was going to go down to Florida. I have to tell my friend Paula that I'm not doing that anymore because it's just too much. I'm cat sitting in Oregon on the end of October, and it's already October. It's already October 1st. So I put my plans, my potential plans in Gemini. It's kind of scary how much I use AI lately. And to just kind of, I put like 3 different routes. And if I went to Florida and then over to Oregon, it was something like 22 days of driving out of 33 when I put it in. So by just seeing my son and then gradually go out to Oregon, it's cut down on a lot of time because I've been doing so much driving. Like Alaska is not close. And on the way back, it was something like 60 hours of driving through Canada. And yeah, I would like to be in one spot a little bit more. I know, because maybe I spend, I don't know, I'm keeping track of like where I spend my nights because it's rare that I spend more than 2 or 3 nights in one place lately. So I would like to change that. Oh, that's nice. Steve said the video I did of my parents was really touching. Yeah. And then, yeah, Alaska is beautiful. Must sees for Alaska. Denali. Yeah, Denali was beautiful. Denali, that was something that was really, really unique to get to experience that much wilderness. And like it was just on an unprecedented scale from, I know the national parks in the lower 48 are gorgeous, but this, and then the way they have it where you have to take buses, and there's at a certain point there's no personal vehicles anymore. It's just very, very unique. Valdez was gorgeous. Like the drive in, there's waterfalls and glaciers, and that was amazing. So I don't know, like Alaska just astounded me because I would be with my camera and be like, oh my God, this is gorgeous. And then we drive a couple of miles down the road and it's just as gorgeous, maybe more. So it really blew me away. Okay. Oh, Okay. Let's see. They had the first Red Button Ramble. Ah, it's a group of cab over campers. That sounds like a lot of fun. Have you had to have any emergency mechanical work done on your camper? On the truck or the camper? The camper, I guess when the window fell out, I couldn't drive back. That's to the lower 48 with the window, like just temporarily, like I just used, the window little clips when you close the window. That was how it was in there. So if I hit a bump, it would have flew out. So I guess that was kind of an emergency getting that fixed. And the truck, just that one time when I got stuck, that was when I first started doing YouTube. That was in 2023 when I got stuck with it and ended up spending 9 days in a casino parking lot. I did a couple videos about that. That was an experience, and that was a huge learning experience because the dealership that I went to, because I didn't really have a choice, I got towed. I think they did a lot of stuff that, like deal that I didn't really, it wasn't really pressing, but they like gave me this laundry list of stuff that was wrong with it. And I didn't know any better at the time. I was new to the road, and I thought, oh, well, let me get this fixed because this is my life now and I don't want any potential problems. But looking back, it was a lot of stuff that wasn't pressing or urgent. And then just when was it, the beginning of this year, I got my spark plugs changed, and that was one thing, and the cables changed, and that was one thing that they were supposed to have done, changed all those, and the guy who did it said no, they're all the original factory spark plugs. So I'm like, oh, and I look at my bill, and I paid for it. So but other than that, I mean, I got stuck a few times just because I went places that I shouldn't have went. I know better now, but there wasn't anything really emergency. So I was thinking about that today. Like my truck is a 2018 Ford F-250, and it's taken me all over the country, all the way up to Alaska, through Canada, down to Mexico, and it's still kicking. I haven't had any major issues with that. Okay. Did I get to see the mountain? I guess you're talking about the Denali. And yeah, we took if that's what you're talking about, we took a flight seeing tour to see Denali, and that's going to be on the upcoming video that I'm working on right now. So that was an amazing experience to see the mountain up close, just breathtaking. And really it also like let me see that Alaska, like most of it is just wilderness, like dense wilderness. I mean, of course there are highways, but like there's not like a lot of highways like there are down in the lower 48. Like when I was driving there was a wildfire, and I'm thinking, oh, I'll just take another route. Well, there's no other route. and it takes so long to get to some place. Like you look on the map and they look like they're like right next to each other, but the highway is up and around and over mountains, and that's the only highway you can go. So that was I would recommend that. It's kind of a splurge, but I'm so glad we did it. My friend wanted to do it. If I was up there by myself, I probably wouldn't have paid for it because it is expensive, but it was well worth it. And we had a great day where you could see the glaciers and the mountain up close. It was pretty amazing. Okay, Gregory's asking about the truck. The truck is still doing great. Like nothing happened to the truck. It made it up to Alaska, made it back. It was one time where in 2023 where I got stuck with it, and what happened was, I think it was the rotors, because the brakes started making like this loud noise and kind of going really slow. So that's why I had it towed, because I didn't know, I didn't know any better. I probably could have driven it slowly to the next exit, but I didn't know. I didn't want to drive it. So, hi, Sketch. Uh, yeah, yeah. I mean, my trips are going well. I had some really great trips so far. Did you drive the same route back or take a less isolated road back? Okay, wondering if the roads are better or another route. I presume you're talking about coming back from Alaska to the lower 48. Going up there, I took the Cassiar Highway through British Columbia. And then once you get up to the Yukon, there's only one route, the Alaska Highway. And that was great. That was beautiful. The Cassiar Highway is kind of like the road less taken. Most people take the Alcon, but it was still gorgeous. Slower speed limits. Not the road wasn't as wide. I saw a lot more wildlife on there. But coming back, I took the Alaska Highway all the way through British Columbia, which is still totally beautiful. And I noticed coming back, like going up there, the road seemed to be a lot rougher, and maybe there was a lot more construction, because coming back, it was September already. And a lot of the construction ends, summer is peak time for construction, and then when fall starts coming, they there's not as much construction. But I know, like, I felt like the roads were better, and I don't know if it was just because I'm in this camper, and this camper rides totally different than my Cirrus. And in that video that David did from Cash Campers, he kind of explains like how the construction of both campers, like this camper is lower, and the water tanks are like right here in the bed, like right center front of the bed. So like the center of gravity is different, and the Cirrus is narrower and it's kind of built up more. So there's pros and cons to both construction, but I noticed the Cirrus was just kind of, top heavy and tippy, and it was like that from day one. That's kind of how it rides in the truck, and I just got used to it. I thought all truck campers did that, but this camper is wider and it's lower, and the center of gravity is a little more forward. So it, I don't know, it rides so much better. Like, it's not tippy. It just seems to be solid in the bed. And so I don't know if that's why the road back felt not as rough, or it was because, the construction is ending. I don't know. It was just an easier ride. So let's see. What travelers do you follow on YouTube? Okay. I follow, let's see, Story Chasing Amber. She was, she was one of the YouTubers that I started following way back, and she really inspired me, because first I was thinking of a tiny house, and then I was thinking, when I saw these van lifers, I was like, oh my God, I could do that. So, and then she was in an apartment for a little while, and she was traveling in a Scamp. I think it looks like she's going into an apartment again, but she was one that I would faithfully follow. Who else? Of course, like way back in the day, like Eamon and Beck, and Trent and Allie, which they're in a different life period now where they have kids and they're in a house and their life is different, but I still will follow them. I guess I follow Karen Nate because I love to travel. Also, I started following them during COVID when they were in a van traveling in the US because they can't travel internationally. But even though they travel internationally now, I still watch them. Kevin from 30 to Wake Up, also in a van. Then he was traveling internationally. So let's see. Mount McKinley, not Denali. I know when we were in, when I took that flight seeing tour, the pilot said it went back to Mount McKinley. And then when I was editing my video yesterday, I put it in Gemini and asked, and Gemini said that President Trump did wanted to change it back to Mount McKinley, I think in January 2025, but officially it never changed. So it's still Denali. I don't know. I like Denali better. I think it means tall one or great one or something. But so I don't know. Yeah, I could be wrong. But I was calling it Denali when I was there, and so was everyone else. But that doesn't mean that's the official name. What is one of the most scariest places you have camped at, Kim Ann? Let's see. I think that night where I got lost going to the north rim of the Grand Canyon, it was a dispersed camping site in National Forest and Kebab. I'm probably saying that wrong. National Forest. And of course, there's no GPS. And I tried to download maps and it didn't really. I'm caving because she's annoying me. But anyway, I got lost. It was raining. It was cold. It was like sleeting. And I had no cell signal. I didn't try the Starlink because there were so many trees. And yeah, I cried that night because there were like coyotes. I don't know, coyotes freaking me out. Not so much. I mean, now I kind of got over it, but then I don't know why. Like I just picture them surrounding the camper or something. I don't know. And yeah, I guess I was just disappointed because I had such high hopes to get there, and then I got lost, and I didn't see any cars. And I'm like thinking, oh my God, if something happens to me, nobody will know where I am. I think that was my scariest moment, but I don't know. Scary moments make us stronger. It was an irrational, scary moment. Okay, let's see. Oh, I just took them out. Somebody said, Mabrovsev 51. She says that she thinks my dogs want to go out. Yeah, I just took them out before we got on this call, and they both went to the bathroom. They just know they can get away with this. Not really Ron, Lilo. She knows that she could be annoying, and I'm going to give her a treat because I'm on a call or a live stream. How was it traveling with the dogs in Alaska? Was it a good time weather-wise for camping? I will stick with Denali. Yeah, I thought the weather was gorgeous. I thought I missed the heat of the lower 48, but coming back, I still did hit a little bit of that when I was in New Jersey and New York last week. But the dogs were fine. When I was in Denali, you can't take them on any trails. There's only 2 established trails in Denali. And then you can hike, but you're kind of blazing your own trail, which is kind of weird because that's what they tell you not to do, right? Don't go off trail, but like the bus would just drop you off and you want to hike that mountain, you just go, which we did. And we just stayed to the established trails. but the only place you can take the dogs in Denali were where cars can go. So when we were exploring, they were in the camper, which I kind of felt bad about. And then we were dispersed camping outside of Seward, and I was with the dogs. We were by, sorry, we're by a river. I can't give her any more treats. She's gonna, come here, honey. Let me try this trick again. God. All right. Hopefully it's not too annoying. But we were by a river, and I was walking them in the morning, and there was a wolf that was, I don't know, he wasn't really tracking us, but it kind of scared me. We were walking back to the camper, so the wolf like came out of the woods, and it was a big dispersed camping area close to Seward. I think it was in Seward. So there were a lot of campfire rings, and I'm sure like the wildlife goes in there for food, and he didn't really seem to be too interested in the dogs, and the dogs didn't see him. But that kind of scared me. And I do have bear spray. So yeah, every time I would take them, for their long walk in the morning, I would always think about it, because there's bears. It's very common to see bears and moose and coyotes and wolves. So, all right, let's see. Oh, hi, Timmy. I won't get married. Is your new camper winterized, insulated to prevent pipes from freezing? Yeah, the thing about the new camper, even my old camper, I never winterized it, because with the truck camper, everything is inside the truck. So if you're camping in it and you have the heat on, everything is heated inside the truck. So this camper, since it was manufactured in Alaska, Cash Camper says that their campers are for up to 40 below. So I noticed the first time I came in this camper that it's so well insulated, like you don't hear the outside like you did in my old camper. And my old camper, I think it was like half the insulation. It is a 4-season camper, but it's not, it wasn't built for Alaska. So I was pretty impressed with that. Also, I don't know, I just never winterize, because I'm always in the camper, and if it's cold, I have the heat on, and I try not to go anywhere like super cold, but now that I have this camper, I can. So I don't know. I'm thinking about like going somewhere where there's snow this winter. I think that would be really cool. So let's see. Was it when you heard all the coyotes? That's why I still hear coyotes. I was in Minnesota. It seems like anytime I'm in Minnesota, I hear coyotes. Like I was in Minnesota in the city in Grand Rapids, Minnesota. I think it was Grand Rapids, where Judy Garland's from. But I heard them. I was in a Walmart in the city, and I heard coyotes. But now, I don't know. Now, after that experience of being by the Grand Canyon and getting freaked out and hearing the coyotes, I'm not really afraid of them anymore. So, okay. Hi, Northern California, Robert. Oh, okay. Bye, golf addict. Addict hugs back. Do you ever miss being a nurse? That's a good question. No, no. I don't. Oh my God. I can't give her any more. No, I mean, I used to really, when I first started nursing, especially in the OR. I thought it was exciting and I really liked it. And towards the end, I was just totally burnt out. I think, especially after COVID, I was just totally burnt out, and I'm just doing a lot of personal growth, and I was having different physical symptoms that I don't have anymore, and just totally stressed out. And it's just the nature of healthcare. And especially, I was taking travel jobs in level 1 trauma hospitals, which, didn't help with the stress. So yeah, I don't really miss it. So no, I don't miss it. Okay. Oh wow, Robert says they have coyotes in New York City. That's crazy. All right. Hi, Captain. Oh. And Debbie said, how exciting for you, a new camper. Yeah, it was about time for a new camper. And I really do like it. It's, oh my God, she took 3. God, hold on. Lilo, no. All right. She took 3 out of the bag. She's a smart dog. Where was I? Oh, just living in the Sears, which, I mean, I really love the Sears, but as time goes on, you kind of get to know what you need and what you don't need. And what I thought I needed in the beginning, I realized was kind of a liability as I was living in it. Like all the fancy stuff, like the stereo and the TV and all like the fancy touch screens. Like when you start having issues with them, like the touch screen for the battery and the tank level monitor, that went out. Sears doesn't even put them in anymore, so I couldn't get one. So that's why I had to do that workaround, putting that Mopica tank sensor when that one video when I was under the camper, putting the tank sensors, and people are saying you shouldn't be under the camper without like some kind of support, just in case, something, just in case like the jacks fail or something, which is a good idea. But like this camper, it just has basically the basics of what I need, and not all the bells and whistles that I found out I didn't really need. So, okay. Am I going to do a tour? Let me see. Yeah, I agree. Steve says nursing is a hard job. Women that are nurses, and there's a lot of guys that are nurses also are really strong in driving women. Yeah, I agree to that. It is a hard job, and yeah, and then I would look at nurses that were my age or older, and it's very, very demanding. I mean, they just kind of looked tired and over it, but it's what you train for. It's your job and it's your profession, and they'll try to stay for retirement. But when I was in my 50s, I started looking around thinking, oh wow, like there's all young people here now. Like people my age aren't doing this anymore. They're doing, I don't know, they went on to something else. So yeah, it is a hard job. Okay. So Debbie asked, are you going to do a tour? I'm not really sure. Like a tour. I don't know. What do you mean by a tour, Debbie? Let's see. Hi, Dan. Can you repeat which camper you got? Okay. Yeah, it's oh my God, this dog is driving me crazy. Like I have no other place to put her. And this is a little extreme for her. Maybe she does have to go to the bathroom. I don't know. I keep feeding her treats, but I know that's not good because she's gonna. All right, I'll give her a little. No. Oh, okay. Ugh. Not good. This is just perpetuating the problem. Okay. Yeah, it's Cache Campers, Cache Campers, and they're in Palmer or Palmer, Alaska, or Wasilla, Alaska. So yeah, they were fixing my Sears, and they had this camper. They do a lot of like custom builds, and they also have one camper called the Fish Hook that is very popular, and it's just very popular up in Alaska. So they'll make those, and it seemed like on their website, those fish hooks, like as soon as they announce that they have one that they're finishing or they're building, like it's sold like that. So they're just very well insulated, and I don't know, so far I'm really enjoying it. Okay. Oh, how's New York? Yeah, I loved New York. I went to New York City for my birthday, which was last week. And I drove there with the camper, and I stayed in a campground in Brooklyn because there's two campgrounds that oh my God, how can she be so bad? She's not bad, but she's just Lilo. I can't give her any more treats. All right, maybe I'll just pretend like I don't see her and don't give in to her, and so she'll be good. So there's one Skyview, I think it's called, Skyline RV in Brooklyn that I stayed at, and I loved it. And I grew up outside in New York City, and when I lived there, I didn't really like the city that much. I thought it was like too congested and smelly, and people weren't nice, and I thought it was dirty. But I found, I mean, it's still it still can be smelly, but it was so enjoyable. I met up with two friends. One is Robert, that's on here, and yeah, it was so enjoyable. So totally different than what I remember from when I was a kid. And that New York City is a lot different than when I was a kid in the 70s. My dad had a business in Greenwich Village, and driving in, I remember seeing kind of all the down and out people, and there were a lot of like peep shows, and it was kind of sleazy, the areas we went through. And now it's totally different. I mean, I walked around by myself. I took the ferry across the East River, and it was so enjoyable. I would definitely go back again. Okay. Yeah, Alaska was beautiful. I was so glad I went there. All right. Lucas Bug said he's watching the Cache Camper video. Yeah, and on that video, David just released it yesterday, and he did such a good job just comparing the two campers, and kind of going over like the reasons why I bought this camper, but I will do a video, like a tour of my new camper. So, was it cold? Alaska, it wasn't cold. I mean, when I left, it was starting to get chilly at night. Maybe driving back, I was in the Yukon, it was like in the 40s. So it was starting to get chilly. And then during the day, like it can get up into the 70s. And it depends on where you were in Alaska. Like in Denali, it was cold. I was wearing a puffy jacket in August because it would get cold in Denali. I didn't know this, but during the summer, it rains a lot and the temperatures vary a lot. So further south, like Anchorage, we were in Anchorage a couple days, and it's like in the 80s. So it depends on where you are, but I definitely would go up there for a summer again. It was, the temperature was very comfortable, and I didn't have to plug in or use, well, I have the DC air conditioner, but I didn't have to use the air conditioner once. Let's see. Uh, Hi, Vita loves life. Vita, yeah, she has a great channel, you guys. Vita loves life. She's here to support me. Thank you for being here. So, how many state parks have you visited? Oh, wow. I haven't counted them. And for a while, I was kind of staying out of state parks. Like when I started doing YouTube, I was intentionally staying out of state parks because you could, for a time, you couldn't vlog in state parks. And if you were monetized, put them on your channel, but you can now. So now I'm excited to see a lot more. So I haven't been to a ton. At one time, that was one of my goals in life, to see all the state parks. Did you say state parks? Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought you meant national parks. Yeah, state parks. You can vlog in state parks. You couldn't vlog in national parks. So yeah, occasionally I'll go in state parks, but I don't know how many I've been to. So Steve says he lives in the middle of nowhere his entire life. I like the middle of nowhere, but I surprised myself, like going back to the Northeast and being in New York City. I mean, I really love that too. So it's kind of nice to be able to do both. Have you done any Minnesota trips? On the way, I mean, I drove through Minnesota on the way to Michigan, coming back from Alaska. So, but I didn't really do anything because I needed to go see my son. So I didn't do anything in Minnesota. On the way, because I'm going to Oregon, I have to see. I think I am going through Minnesota. I'm not sure. I have to see what my route is. But yeah, Minnesota is a beautiful state, and I would love to see more of that, especially by the lakes. Yeah, Alaska is amazing in August. It was. Rural Overlanding Studio. Hi, how are you? Let's see. Hello from Alabama. The new campers should help in the Alabama heat. Also, come check out some Alabama. Yeah, Alabama is another beautiful state. Like traveling around, I realized that every single state has beauty. And I used to hate New Jersey. I used to think, they say New Jersey is the armpit of the U.S. And I used to believe that, but because I grew up there. But going back, I mean, there's still beauty in New Jersey, so everywhere. Oh, yeah. So again, Alabama is beautiful. Oh, when was your birthday? My birthday was the 21st. I turned 61. Okay. Steve says he lives less than 5 miles from a state park. Yeah. I have visited, quite a few state parks, I guess. I just never kept count. But yeah, I love state parks. Yes. Tim says they have awesome parks and waterfalls in Minnesota. So hi, Louisa. I see you. Thank you for being here. Okay. So Debbie says she does want to go to all the national parks, and that was a goal of mine for a long time. And now I don't know if I go, I go. I'm just kind of really flexible, just driving around. Like I don't make any long-term plans, and wherever, I don't know, the wind blows or wherever opportunities come up, I just go. So like New York City, like I made that plan, I don't know, maybe a few days before I went there. So let's see. What did you think about Wasilla? What city would it compare to in the lower 48? Yeah, like I liked Wasilla and Palmer, that area. It's they look like really nice cities, like nice cities to live in. There's, a lot of community there, and so I think in the lower 48 it would compare to kind of like a not not really an urban, I mean, not really suburban. I guess it is suburban, but not really like a suburb of a big city like New York or Chicago. I think it would be like a kind of a close-knit community. Not really rural, but not really suburban. I can't really think of a town, but I did really like the vibe there. So, how long did it take you to drive to Alaska? No, I didn't. I didn't tell you guys. On the way up there, I took about 2 weeks to drive because I stopped. I stopped twice for a couple of days. Once in, I stopped 3 times actually. I stopped in British Columbia when I volunteered at the Vipassana Meditation Center for 4 days. And then I stopped again in British Columbia for, I think, 3 days to work on a video. And then I stopped again in the Yukon to shoot some videos. That was at that abandoned campground that was in my video. So that's why it took 2 weeks. On the way back, it was, I think, less than a week because I was just booking it. I kept, because I had a deadline to be in Virginia by September 13th, Shenandoah National Park. I met my daughter there because my daughter and son-in-law, my granddaughter were there. They were going to a wedding there. And that park is beautiful. I've never been to Shenandoah National Park. I don't know how, but yeah, I stayed there in the campground and they were in the lodge and I watched my granddaughter. So coming back, I couldn't really waste a lot of time. So it took me about a week to get to my son's. So that was like a 60-hour drive. It was crazy. So let's see. That's okay. Luisa says, sorry, she's late. Let me see. I think. Yeah. It depends on, like, driving to Alaska. It depends on where you are in the lower 48. I mean, driving up, I started from Oregon. So, it wasn't the 60 hours it took me driving back. Because driving back, I had to go through, because I was going to Michigan. So I had to go through the Yukon, British Columbia, because Alberta, and Saskatchewan, and come in through North Dakota. So that was quite a drive, but I enjoyed it. I mean, that part of British Columbia coming back, I was going to do a short about that. There's this area of British Columbia by Laird Hot Springs. I think it's northeast British Columbia on the Alaskan Highway. I saw so much wildlife there, like herds of bison and moose and goats, like wild mountain goats. And it was unbelievable. It was beautiful there. And Laird Hot Springs is beautiful and so relaxing. So I wanted to do a short about that. What locations in Alaska are must-sees? Did you try the ferry? Yeah, I think that Talkeetna, that flight seeing tour that we took of Denali, we took one from Talkeetna, but I know there's other ones you can get. That was definitely, I think, a must see if you're going all that way up there. Denali was beautiful. We were on the Kenai coast. We took a wildlife safari or wildlife cruise out of Seward, and that was definitely a must see. Like we saw whales and sea lions and puffins, like a lot of really cool stuff. And Valdez, like the drive into Valdez is drop dead gorgeous. Just a lot of you can see glaciers and there's a lot of waterfalls, and it was just breathtaking. And no, we did not do the ferry. There's a ferry from Alaska to, I think it's somewhere in Washington, Bellingham. We didn't do that. I was looking into it, and for me, there was a lot of negatives because it was going to be with my friend. I was looking into it with another friend, and altogether was going to be like $3,000 because I have to pay for the dogs. I have to pay for the camper. This was 2 adults. And I was looking at a cabin because I've heard people who just, like, if you don't have a cabin, you sleep on a lounge chair or you sleep with your tent on the deck, and that didn't really seem comfortable. And also, you can't bring the dogs into the cabin. They have to stay in the camper at the bottom of the ferry. So you can only go visit them to feed them and walk them like 4 times a day. And Ron is, I don't know if you've seen it in any of my videos, he's afraid of so many things. He's just a very skittish dog, and I didn't want to put him through that. So I decided to drive there and drive back. Yeah, you can probably drive to Alaska in less than a week. But yeah, I did it in a week for 60 hours driving in a week. That's a lot of driving, but it was okay. Yeah, Steve says he would love to travel with me someday. Yeah. Yeah, maybe we can meet up somewhere. That would be cool. Yeah, the ferry was expensive. Like if it's just like an adult, maybe you're not getting a cabin, maybe you don't have a dogs and a camper, it would be less expensive, but it was going to be about the same time. And yeah, I thought it was pretty expensive, but people say it's beautiful because you go through the inside passage where you see a lot of wildlife and you see a lot of the terrain, and I'm sure it is beautiful, but I don't know. I didn't want to put my dog through that, and yeah, I thought it was expensive. So, yeah. So, yeah. But I would definitely go to Alaska again. It was an experience. It really was. I'm really glad I went. And before I went, I was kind of having anxiety about it because it's a long drive, and especially if you're by yourself. And I was thinking, oh no, like what if I broke down or I had to change a tire? Like I've never changed a flat tire by myself before, but I think all of that, even if something happened like that, it would be fine because in the summertime, there's, other people traveling up there. And if they saw somebody pulled over, they probably would help. And yeah, a lot of the fears I had were, didn't come to fruition. And even if they did, I would have been able to get through it. So, but it is expensive, and I still don't know how much I paid in gas. I wanted to do another video if you guys were interested on how much it cost me to drive up there, because the gas is in liters and it's in Canadian dollars. And so yeah, I have to add it all up because I had no idea how much it was to fill up my tank. And then on the Alcan, no, on the Cassiar Highway, a lot of the gas stations, or almost all of them that I went to, were on First Nations land. And then the further north you get, the more expensive the gas is, because they have to ship it up there or truck it up there to remote areas. So yeah, it gradually got more expensive. It was like crossing the border into Alaska was so much cheaper. And yeah, it was like 3 something the first gas station I hit. But so yeah, I would like to do a video of how much it costs me, because I would like to know too, because I have no clue what the final cost was to driving. Yeah, my window fell off. I mean, we weren't driving when the window fell off. We were actually in Seward at a campground. We were just not a campground. We were just in dispersed camping, and you know, we're having a leisurely breakfast with our tea, and I just happened to open the window, and the window fell off. So that was good. It didn't fall off while I was driving. Because I have seen, I don't know how common it is. I mean, other people that have new Sears campers, like I haven't heard from anyone I know that has one that the window fell out. But on the Facebook group, like when I was searching for it, it did happen to other people. And one person said that they got to their destination and one of their cab over windows was gone. So luckily nothing like that happened where it fell off and, you know, flew out, and I left it on the Alcan or something, and that we were there when it happened. So did you ever think about heading to Baja? Yes, I do. I would love, the only time I went into Mexico was just like border towns. The last time I went in, I actually walked in, but I haven't taken it to Juarez. That's like, yeah, I haven't driven it to Juarez, and I came back in one piece, and it was fine. But yeah, I would like to go to Baja, and you know, I've heard mixed things about Baja. I met a couple couples when in the Yukon that they said that, you know, if you like if you like the beach and you like to just relax and hang out, then Baja's great. They said that they like to explore more and do a lot of outdoor things, so they didn't stay in Baja too long. But I would like to see for myself. You know, a lot of nomads go to Baja, and I think that would be a lot of fun to like hook up with a group and go to Baja. AAA in Alaska. They probably do have AAA. I don't know how that works though, because there are so many remote areas, and I'm sure AAA wouldn't go to. And yeah, and that's what, because I do have roadside service in the US, and yeah, that's what I was thinking when I was driving up there. But you know, everything was fine. So let's see, 85 to 90% of things we worry about never happen. That is so true, Vita. That is so true. Yeah, because I was almost having a panic attack before I went to Alaska, and for some reason something was like kind of, you know, like calling me to Alaska. Like I just felt that you need to go to Alaska. You need to go to Alaska. And maybe it was for this camper, maybe it was for, you know, all the personal growth and all the adventures and the learning I had, like just, you know, because I was so afraid to do it, and I did it. So much comes out of having like fears about something, and then you do it, and it's like, oh, like your world becomes bigger, right? It's like, oh, if I could do this, you know, I could drive to Patagonia. I could do whatever. I could do. So, so a lot of great things came from going to Alaska. So, Carol said she was a travel nurse in Alaska. Great adventure. Yeah. That must have been a great adventure. And I saw when I was driving through Homer, there were like ads for nurses up there, that they really need nurses. So that was really great that you went up there, because they really do need healthcare workers. But did you ever get lonely when I was in Alaska, or do you ever get lonely, especially at nighttime being the hardest time? I really don't. I really don't. I mean, I enjoy when I am traveling with someone, or if I do go visit someone and spend time with them, like I immensely enjoy that. But when I'm by myself traveling, even at night, like I don't I don't really feel lonely. Like I don't really feel alone. I don't know. So no, I don't. Uh, I would love to come to Puerto Vallarta. Louisa, her and her husband Michael have a channel called Retired Life Mexico. You guys need to check them out. They have some really good content. I always watch it because I'm interested in going to Mexico, and yeah, I would love to uh to go to Puerto Vallarta, and I was thinking about that. Oh, thank you, Debbie. Debbie just gave me a super chat for $10. Thank you, Debbie. Grab a coffee or tea on me. Oh, I appreciate that. I will. I will. Thank you. But then I was thinking about going down through Baja and then taking the ferry over to the mainland and then going to Puerto Vallarta to see Michael and Luisa. I have another friend who was living in Puerto Vallarta. He goes down there sometimes, my friend Andy, and but he lived there for many years. Um, but yeah, I would love to go to Puerto Vallarta. Life shrinks or expands in proportion to one's courage. Yes, I love that quote. That's very true. Yeah. Yep. Life begins at the edge of your comfort zone. Yeah, I find that time and time again that what you're capable of when you do something like really scary, that what you're capable of just expands, and if it really feels good to not let it stop you. So yeah. Yeah. Oh, Puerto Vallarta has RV parks. Yeah, I would love to go down there. Do you ever regret quitting nursing? I'm so bummed out and want to run away. Huh. I'm sorry. Why you? Oh, burned out. I read bummed out. Yeah, I don't regret it. I still do have my nursing license. So I always think, well, if I need the money, or if I see a job that I want, I can always travel nurse again. But yeah, I don't want to. I was so burnt out. And then frankly, when I think about it, it kind of makes me a little nauseous thinking about going back. It's probably a bodily sign that it's probably not the path forward. And it's sad because nurses, it's a hard job. Most of them are just very caring and they want to be in the profession. And it's just really the nature of healthcare and our healthcare system, how stressful it is, and how, especially in the OR, like I would work a 12-hour shift and it was hard just to go to the bathroom because you're running. Like I would get 30 minutes lunch and that's it. And then the whole time you're running and running and running. And it's, like you always have to, I don't know. I can like go into it, but it was just very, very stressful. So I don't. My life is, yeah. I was thinking about it today also because I'm listening to this book about the mind body connection, and that when I was nursing, I had arthritis in my hands, and I had like sharp pains in my knees, and I wasn't able to sleep because like I would wake up at night and be anxious. I have to get up in the morning to go back, and all of that went away. Like I thought, oh crap, I'm gonna have arthritis forever. But yeah, it's all went away after I stopped nursing, and it just shows you the powerful connection that our minds have with our bodies. And when you're stressed or, biting your tongue all day because you have to follow protocol and procedure and you just can't freely, say what you're thinking to patients. That when you're holding all that in, it comes out in other ways. Let's see. Road trip to Baja. Oh, I would love to go to Baja with you, Stilo, Vida. That would be amazing. I would love to. Yeah, that's very true. Phoenix rises 93. You never really understand your limits until you stretch them. Yep. Yep, I find that time and time again. And preparation removes a lot of the anxiety. Yeah, I know. I usually fly by the seat of my pants when I do things, so I never really over prepare. So yeah, I never really do. I just fly in and hope for the best, and I don't know. That's been working, but um, so Michelle asked if I'm in a new camper. Yes, yes, Michelle. I was talking about it earlier. I bought a new camper in Alaska, and I wasn't planning to buy a new camper, but I had my window fell out of my Sears, and I had to get that repaired. And then the place I took it to repair is also a custom camper manufacturer in Alaska, and they had this unit for sale. It is a 2025, so I'm the first one to own it, and it was more in line with exactly what I wanted. So and they were able to move because in the spring I got the Redodo batteries, 560 amp hours of the Redodo batteries. Redodo sponsored me for one video, and they moved those, and those batteries have been working out amazing. They moved my DC air conditioner to this unit. So they did some like upgrades, like removing components from my old one to here. So it basically has everything that I really want. It doesn't have a closet, so I'm still trying to work on organizing the space because it has a lot of storage space, but with every camper, you kind of have to design your storage areas differently because not what was working in the Sears doesn't really work in this space. So I'm still working on that. But yeah, it is a new camper, and I'm going to do a tour of the new camper and kind of talk about, why I bought this camper and compare my older campers. And then if anyone who tuned in, David from Cache Campers, CACHE Campers, he has a YouTube channel, and he just posted a video yesterday comparing my two campers. So, and he did a really good job on it. So if you guys want to check that out, just look at Cache Campers on YouTube, and he has a channel, and he's he's a great guy, very, very knowledgeable. So he explained a lot more things, like in a lot more detail than I will. But okay, let's see. Nurses deal with so much all the time. Yeah, nurses do, and just people in the healthcare in general. It's just our healthcare system. I don't know if it's like that in every country. It definitely is in the U.S. I know. I remember I had an awakening at one point when I was travel nursing, when I just looked around in the lunchroom and I thought, I started asking people, if you could be anywhere and you didn't have to be here, like, would you, like, no, what did I say? I said something like, if they weren't paying you, would you be here? They were all like, hell no, hell no. I mean, and I was asking, well, where would you rather be? And like, nobody said in a hospital working, doing that job. And I guess it's the same for a lot of jobs, but I know, it just made me realize looking around that none of these people really want to be here. Okay, the new camper is called, I keep saying, I don't know if they pronounce it cache or cache. I use it interchangeably. When I was in Alaska, most people were saying cache. It's CACHE, camper. And they're a custom builder in Alaska. They build for the Alaska weather. So this camper is a lot better insulated than my old camper. They have 3 inches of insulation. So that's another thing that sold me. I just noticed even on the lot, just walking into the camper, like how quiet it was inside compared to my Cirrus. So okay, let's see. How do the dogs like it? Yeah, Michelle, at first they were kind of freaked out. They didn't really know. And I guess it's just a new space. They were just a little weird for a couple days, and now they're used to it. Like Lilo, there's a little ledge over here, this is kind of a nice feature. This is the outside compartment, and you can open this and get to your stuff from the inside, and then there's a window over here. So a lot of times Lilo knows, she's turned into like a little house cat that she can lay over here and sun herself and look out the window if we're in the camper. And I had to put their doggy steps like under the table because Lilo was having a hard time jumping up on the bench seat because it is higher than it was in the Cirrus. So she jumps up on her little doggy steps, and then she jumps here, and then she jumps up. So she can like quickly get around this camper, where the Cirrus, I had to have the doggy steps on one of the bench seats for her to be able to get up onto the bed. Now Ron, he's a jumper. He can jump. He jumps from like here all the way up there. But now I think they really like it. Okay, let's see. Wow. Hi, Pylon Constructor from Australia, Melbourne. Thank you. He says, I'm looking good for 61. Thank you. I saw the video. Yeah. Oh, Carol. Yeah. I was briefly in the Cash Camper video because I was there when he was shooting it. So you can kind of see me, I think, walk out of the camper, and I just said hi. But I was just thinking that you got new batteries. Yeah. Yeah, the batteries are my old batteries, and they just switched the batteries out. So yeah, so they put my lithium batteries in here. They also put more solar on the roof. So I have 760 watts of solar, which is great because I don't, like in the other camper, I needed those external solar ports with my portable solar panels to keep the air conditioner going, but with this setup, I mean, that's a lot of solar. I've never run out of battery. I mean, ever since I put these batteries in, even on the old camper, I've never run out of battery. Yeah, with that much solar and my DC charger, it just stays charged. How's the bed? The bed is super comfortable, and it's a nicer mattress than the Cirrus. I don't know. It's not really, let's see. It's not like that thick, but it's a really good mattress. Where in the Cirrus, I mean, it was kind of a standard RV manufacturer mattress, and the Cirrus has the Froley system, which is nice underneath it. It like raises the mattress for ventilation, and it's also like springs. But I found the Cirrus mattress when I first got it wasn't super comfortable. So I didn't think it was. So I put a 3-inch foam topper on it. And when I first came into this camper, I took my topper and put it on there, but I found out I really don't need it. That this mattress, I have to look and see what kind of mattress it is, but it's a really nice mattress that it's comfortable on its own. And the ceiling is lower in the bed area. I mean, I can still sit up, but I could sit up over at the end, but I can't sit up towards the top of the bed. So so the 3-inch foam topper on here like made it so I wasn't able to fully sit up. So yeah, I have to look and see if anybody's interested, what kind of mattress that is, but it's a really nice mattress. So okay, let me see if there's any questions. How did you choose? Carol says, how did you choose truck and camper versus van or truck and trailer? I did have a van when I was married. We got a Ram ProMaster 3500 that I did a temporary build on it, and I really wanted to do a full build on it. But then when the marriage ended, I needed something that was kind of ready to go because I was going to be living in it full time. I knew at the time I was travel nursing, and I knew I was going to live in it full time. So then I went to the truck camper with the truck because, well, one thing, it was all ready to go and had everything in there that I wanted. And then also I was travel nursing. So when I was travel nursing with the van, I still had to get an Airbnb because of the dogs. I couldn't, it was unrealistic for me to drive my truck in the middle of the summer to work, park it in the hospital parking lot in El Paso, and then go work all day with the dogs in the van. Like that, was totally impractical. My dogs wouldn't survive an hour in there. It would get super hot. So I would still have to get an Airbnb. And then when I got the truck camper, I just took the truck camper off of the truck and drove the truck in. And then the dogs, had air conditioning, it was temperature controlled, at heat. The dogs were in a temperature controlled environment. So that's why I went to the truck camper. And I just really liked the truck camper. I just like, the feel of it. It's kind of like a tiny little home. I mean, vans can be super comfortable. I did do a video comparing, why I went to a truck camper from a van. And I really did love my van. I mean, there's pluses and minuses to both. It just happened that the truck camper worked out better for my situation with the dogs. So, and still, I mean, now that I'm not staying in a lot of campgrounds, I'm traveling more. I haven't taken the camper off of the truck. I used to take it off a lot more often when I was in a campground for longer periods of time, especially when my parents were alive and I was staying in a campground that was like 15 minutes from their house. And I would stay there for 2 weeks at a time. At the time I had 1,000 Trails membership. So I would take it off a lot more. Like now that I'm traveling a lot more, I'm not, but it's nice that I still can. So, let's see. Be careful in Mexico. Yeah. That's what, I don't know, when I've gone into Mexico before, I guess it depends on where you are. I mean, I've always, of course you're careful, and I always felt pretty safe, but if going down to Baja, or if I was going to go to Mexico and travel in Mexico, I would feel safer like traveling with other people, like in a caravan or just like a couple other vehicles. I would feel safer, because I'm not fluent in Spanish. I don't know the customs. Going through Canada, I had no issues. Canada just feels super safe, super clean. They speak English. So I had no issues in Canada, and I didn't really think twice about driving through Canada myself. But Mexico, Central America, yeah, I would like to be with other people. Does this new camper weigh less than your other one? That's a really great question, Carol. And it does. It does. We estimated it was like 700 pounds less than my other camper. But it feels bigger because it's wider, and I don't know, it just feels bigger to me. It feels like I have a lot more space. But it does weigh less, and it has less water. This has a 20-gallon tank, where my other one had a 38-gallon tank. But I mean, so far it's not really an issue. I mean, because the water weighs a lot. If you figure 8 pounds per gallon, that's a lot. That's a lot of weight right there. But what I've been doing with the water is carrying like 5-pound little jerry cans in the camper, in the truck. And when I run out of water, I can just suck it into the tank. So that, I mean, it hasn't really been a big issue. Let's see. Oh, I'll do a video of the new camper. I will. Does this camper have a kitchen in it? It does, yeah, and it has a lot more counter space. I probably can turn the camera around so you can see the kitchen, but yeah, it has a 2-burner cooktop. It's the same cooktop I had before. It's only the upgraded version. Because it has wrought iron on it, not my other one. I know I had a different grill on it, I guess you call it. But I will try to turn this around, if you can see. And let's see. I'll show you the counter space. Let's see. Okay, you can kind of see it. Okay, I have my ring light on, so I think it was kind of drowning it out. But I think you were able to see, because there's a ton more counter space than there was in my Sears, because I only had like this little bit of counter, and then there was the sink and the cooktop. So I would end up like taking my cutting board and moving it around, and then I was getting creative and putting the cutting board like I would open a drawer and just set the cutting board on top of the drawer, and just to get a little more counter space. And I would use my table, which I could still do here, but I haven't had because there's a lot more counter space. So okay. Oh, Louisa says she misses the pretty Mexican tiles. Yeah, I haven't yet, but I need to like make this a little more my own. And I was thinking about getting stick-on tiles again, just to give it more color, because that's one thing. I mean, I love the camper, but the colors there's a lot more dark colors. So yeah, I need to kind of spruce it up again, make it like bright, because I miss my Mexican tiles too. Somebody Spikers asked about the refrigerator. It is a refrigerator. It's a Dometic refrigerator, and it's the same refrigerator. It's a chest style refrigerator. So yeah, it's the same refrigerator that I had in my van that I really loved, because it's very energy efficient, and it seems to work better than, especially the freezer, than my my 12 volt in the Sears. The 12 volt in the Sears was, not the chest style refrigerator, what do you call it, with the door, like a household refrigerator, which I liked. And it was bigger than this one, so I'm getting used to that. But this one seems to hold a lot just because of the storage capacity. Like everything is just kind of in there on top of each other. So it seems like you can fit a lot more, but it is less. But the refrigerator works great. I have ice cream in there right now, and it actually like is at the perfect temperature, where in my other refrigerators, sometimes the freezer, like the ice cream would be mushy or my veggies would defrost. It just, I mean, it still worked well, but it just depended on, sometimes when it was super hot, it was struggling to keep up. So sometimes I would have a little issues with it, but this, I really do like this refrigerator, and I like that it doesn't take up the whole wall. Maybe that's why it feels bigger in here, because like if you look, like there's still space under the cabinet where it, I don't know, it just feels more open. Where in the Sears I had that one wall that was the refrigerator, the whole from, top to bottom, and then also my closet, which I love the closet, but it does kind of close in the area. Let's see. Does the new camper have a name? I haven't named it yet. If anyone has any suggestions, I haven't. Let's see. Yeah, there is a lot of counter space, and that was another selling feature to me, because it's not that I didn't really mind the Sears. I kind of got used to shimmying everything around when I saw the counter space. So I like to cook. It's like, wow, I don't have to shimmy things around to just, put my cutting board and cut up vegetables. So that was nice. It doesn't have a slide out, and yeah, I didn't want a camper with a slide out. When I first started looking at truck campers, I was looking at them with my husband at the time, and like he was looking at the ones with slide outs. So we were looking at Lances with slide outs, and the thing that bothered me about the slide out is that a lot of them, they were unusable, like when the slide out wasn't out, like, because I like to, when I'm traveling, just stop in a rest area or stop somewhere, jump in the back, use the bathroom, or jump in and make lunch or something. And with the slide outs, it seemed like you couldn't really do that, because you would have to put the slide out just to get into the camper. Maybe there's some campers where they have a workaround, but I didn't really think it was worth it. And they're heavier, and I've been in a lot of RV parks where people slide out, get stuck. So if it's just me, I like the simplicity of not having a slide out, although they do give you a lot of space, a lot more space. And there's beautiful campers with slide outs, like those Host truck campers. I don't know if anyone's seen them. Like when those slide outs, they have like 3 slide outs. It's like a luxury apartment in there. But I don't know, I just like the simplicity. I don't have to worry about anything going wrong. I can use everything. Oh, okay. I'm thinking a cooktop. Can I put out off a drawer instead of? Yeah, Debbie, a lot of people have their cooktops where it is in a drawer, because you're not going to use it all the time. So in a lot of vans, people do that, where when they want to use it, they just pull it out and put it away. And that's fine. I mean, it works well. And, and then you have your whole counter for cooking or whatever, you need it for. You have a lot more space. I know I kind of like, in my van, I had one of those Coleman stoves, those double burner stoves, and I had to set it up every time I used it. And I wasn't living in the van full time. I was just traveling in it, but it got to be a pain in the butt. I guess, but some people do it all the time. Or some people, if you have a big electrical system and maybe it's uh, electric cooktop and that you just throw on there and plug in, that works very well. That works well. But I don't know, after a while I got sick of having, setting it up and putting the propane tank on it. And every time I wanted to use it, like I like that it's just there, I open it and I use it and then I close it when I'm done. Oh, Phoenix Rises says the dual zones are really nice. Yeah. And that's what I have, the dual zone in the refrigerator. And I love this refrigerator when I had it in my van. It's still in the van. And then also they're making bigger refrigerators than this. I don't know, because this one is actually on a slider. So the size is fine, but I don't think I can put a bigger one in here because it fits that slider. But I'm willing to work with it. Like some of my produce that I don't have to keep in the refrigerator, I'll just keep out and eat it like that. And it's been fine. Let's see. Yeah, it does. Steve says it does look like I have more space, and it does. It feels so much more open, and it feels like I do, if travel with someone, that we're not going to be stepping over each other as much. I mean, it's a truck camper. Yeah, it's not a class A. You're still gonna have to do the shimmy and stuff, but coming in, the aisle there is bigger. So I don't know, it just feels more open to me. And then also the bed is a standard queen, where in the other one, it was like a couple inches short of a queen, but I don't know, it just makes the bed seem bigger. And I notice when I'm sleeping in it, because sometimes I might have a dog up here and I have to move down. I have more room, my feet never hang over. So, slides get stuck. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I've seen people in pinches with their slides getting stuck. I do. Yeah. Dark 58 is asking about the bathroom. I do have a bathroom. It's a wet bath, and it is there's no, I think it is smaller than the one I had before, but there's a big, kind of a closet area. You can make it into a closet, but it has 3 shelves. So it's a big area for extra storage that has a shower curtain in front of it. So when you're showering, you just close that area and it hasn't gotten wet. But that's nice for extra storage. And, it's a wet bath. I have my composting toilet in there, that Trelino. So I just take that out and just use the whole area to shower. And I don't know, it's big. I mean, it's big enough for me, so it hasn't been an issue. And there's a on-demand hot water heater in this camper that I'm still trying to work with, because when you take Navy showers, the hot water heater starts up when the water is on. So initially it runs cold and then it gets hot. And then if you shut off the water, that cycle starts all over again. So I'm learning to work with it. I read online that because there's a little off switch on the shower head itself, that it said to just put that off instead of shutting it off, and then it'll stay warm. And that seems to be the case. So it's okay. Hi. Oh, I am selling. Callie Cat asked if I'm selling my camper, and I am selling my camper. I had to leave it in Alaska because I couldn't drive 2 campers down. So Cash Campers is selling it for me on consignment. There was a few things they had to do to it because I took out the toilet. So they had to put a regular RV toilet in there because I had the composting toilet in there. And what else? Just little things like this. They were going to replace the shades because those the shades were just like my dogs would stick their head right through the screen. So I bought new shades for it. So they're putting those in there and putting a new stereo cube because the stereo worked, but the screen, like the light went out in the screen. So like if there's no light in the screen, you don't know, like if you're on Bluetooth, you don't know like what setting you're on. So I bought a new, just the stereo cube for them to change out. So they're doing a few little things and then they're going to sell it for me on consignment. So I'll do a video about that too. Let's see, slides are for vacations or weekends. Yeah, I think slides are a hassle. I don't know. Some people love them. When I was going back and forth to Cash Campers, like there were 3 times that they had an RV out there where something went wrong with the slide. And it's kind of weird when they're replacing it because there was like no, like the side of the RV is totally open because they're fixing the slide or something. So it seems to be kind of a common thing that things go wrong with slides. Going through Wisconsin, I did spend the night in Wisconsin coming back from Alaska. I went through Wisconsin, and Wisconsin is beautiful. Right now I'm in Michigan and I'm going back. I'm going to the West Coast. I'm not sure if my route is taking me through Wisconsin, but Wisconsin is beautiful. Okay. Debbie said she doesn't think she'll be using 2 burners at once. I use my 2 burners a lot when I'm cooking, but I guess it just depends. Some people are fine with just 1 burner or, one of those little butane cooktops. It just depends on how you cook. Oh, okay. So yes. Oh, Kelly Cat, yes, I am in a new camper now. Yes, I bought a camper in Alaska. Actually, I didn't even expect to buy a camper in Alaska, but I was so impressed with Cash Campers, and I really love this unit. It has, all the things that I want in it without the extra bells and whistles that could go wrong and that I didn't really want. Like even a TV, like I hardly ever use that TV. Like once in a while I would hook up my computer and watch a movie or something because there was like with the HDMI cord, I could hook up the computer and then watch it on the TV. But I never used the TV or the stereo, like just having a little like speaker for Bluetooth speaker is fine. Like I didn't really need like six stereo speakers all over the camper. Like, I don't know. Other people, that might be a need for them. Maybe they use the TV. It might be a need for them. But for me, like all that extra stuff and, the touch screens and all the fancy stuff, like I found out was just like another potential problem. Yes, the dogs are quiet now. Leela's probably feeling ill after she just ate like 10 of these little chew sticks. Do you have a good heater for cold nights? Oh, yes, I do. It's a Suburban. It's a Suburban heater. No, it's a Dometic heater. Sorry, the Suburban is the on-demand hot water heater. Yeah, it's just, a simple Dometic propane heater. And I did use it when I was in the Yukon a couple times coming back because there were some chilly nights up there, like in the 40s, and it works great. The only thing, like what I really loved in the Cirrus was the Aldi system. It's the heater hot water system, and the heat is like piped in all throughout the camper, so you don't hear it going off. It's silent, and it just, I don't, like, when I was in that thing, it snowed a few times and I didn't even know it was snowing. I didn't know it was cold out. Like, it just keeps the temperature like so well, and you can set the temperature. This one is more like a basic heater, but I mean, it worked fine, but it does have, it's a standard heater with a blower. So, like, once I got used to that, I was able to sleep through it. But I mean, it's not super loud, but it's not like the Aldi. But it's a trade-off. But it works great. It works great. It's built for Alaska, so it works great. And it's not as, something tells me that it's probably simpler if something goes wrong with it to fix than the Aldi system. Because I did have to get the Aldi system fixed once because I hit a bump going somewhere off road where I probably shouldn't have been. And the Aldi system works on glycol and antifreeze, and something happened where all the glycol leaked out into the truck bed, and I didn't know it because the camper was on top of the truck bed. And then when I went to go use the heat, it burnt out something in the heater, so I had to get that replaced. And it was pretty expensive doing that, replacing that. So I want to say it was over $1,000 just to get it repaired. But like, this is like kind of like David at Cash Campers. It says this is tried and true, and it is. And something tells me it's just easier to troubleshoot and to get repaired if I ever needed to. So yeah, basic, I agree. Kentucky, lucky. Yes, basic is good. Yeah, and that's what I found from living in a truck camper for 5 years. That, yeah, things that I could troubleshoot myself, or it's not this fancy system made in like Sweden or wherever Aldi was made, and that it's just something tried and true, made in the USA, that people recognize and know how to deal with. That's kind of where I'm going now, because yeah, it's going up to New Camp, because things happen, and some of it was, a lot of it was my fault, like taking it off road and going up this big bump where, I burnt out my heater. It just gets expensive, and, not everyone can repair it. So, oh, thank you, Randy. I'm back. Do you think you'll get a 4x4 truck eventually, or is a 2-wheel drive good enough? Yeah, Carol, I will definitely get a 4x4 truck, and also a long bed, because when I show you guys the camper, like, the camper is the same length as my other camper, but it's built differently. And if you watch that video on Cash Campers, when he compares both campers, you'll see that it hangs over probably the same amount that my Cirrus hung over. My Cirrus had, since it was built up, it had like stairs, and it had like a big bumper. So so this camper, because it doesn't have the big bumper, I think it will fit better on a long bed truck. So eventually I would like to get a 4x4 and a long bed truck, and maybe one with a crew cab, because right now I have the extended cab, which is working fine. Extended cabs are less expensive than crew cabs, but crew cab would give me a lot more storage, because I took the back seat out for just storage, so I will have more storage if I had a crew cab. So yeah, when I bought my F-250, I got the 2-wheel drive because, for one thing, the weight, the payload capacity was a lot higher, and that's what I was looking at. And then I thought, like, when I was researching, a lot of people said that they never use their 4x4, or, you know, that it's not really needed. But I found a few times where I really did need it. And I ended up getting stuck in mud, or, you know, like one time I was, stuck on gravel, and I had to get a rescue team to come in and tow out my truck in Nevada, where I was in on, was it spring? I can't think of the name now. It's like a recreation area right outside of Vegas, Spring Mountain recreation area, something like that. Where if I had 4x4, I probably wouldn't have gotten stuck. So I think, if I had like a 350 4x4 long bed, that it would be a better fit for this camper and for my lifestyle, because I still am going to go off road. Are you still eating healthy? I try to. I know it's hard at times to eat healthy all the time, especially just traveling in general. Yeah, I mean, I try to still eat healthy. Seems like the past couple of weeks, since it was my birthday and I was in New York City and visiting friends and stuff like that, I was eating out more. But and I was visiting a friend in Pennsylvania. We went out for pizza, and I'm plant-based, I'm vegan, and he is too. So we got this pizza that was delicious with vegan cheese, and not exactly the healthiest thing, but I try to eat healthy, and I love having, a way to cook in my refrigerator where I'm not at the mercy of fast food when I'm traveling. So, okay, bye Dark 58. I know we've been on here, wow, almost 2 hours. So if you have any questions, I'll probably wrap it up around 2 hours. Bought me a new RV. Oh, thank you. Insanity. Like your name. Thank you for saying that you watch my videos. That like warms my heart that people get a lot out of my videos. And yeah, I'm still moving forward and trying to like be more consistent with videos. A lot of times I just get in my own way, in my own head, and I just, I'm trying, like, I'm working on getting to a spot where I don't get in my own head, where I'm able to put out content and, feel good about it, and whatever happens, happens. Let's see, is living the lifestyle as a nomad the best thing you've ever done? Yes, I think so. Some people, they get burnt out of it. I've been doing it. This is my 6th year. I started in 2020, and I'm not. I still love it. There's challenges with this lifestyle at times, but I think to me, it's so worth it. And, like, several times a week, I think, isn't this amazing? Like when I was in Brooklyn at that RV park, I was on the East River. It was like looking at Manhattan skyline in my camper, and I was just like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, I say that all the time. I really do love this lifestyle. And it's not for everybody at all, but yeah, I think it is the best thing I've ever done. Thank you for asking that. Are you a Virgo? Yes, I am. Oh, so you just had a birthday too last month. Happy birthday. I'm a Virgo. Good night, Debbie. I'm almost on here 2 hours. Wow. Thank you so much for all showing up. So, thank you. Thank you, Steve. He says I seem to be fit for 61. Yes. Okay. I'm just going to keep putting out my adventures no matter what bumps in the road I come to. But, thank you all for being on here. If anybody has a burning question, you can drop it now. But other than that, I think we're just going to wrap it up. And I am working on a video about my Alaska vlog. I wasn't going to put it out because like sometimes my vlogs don't do as well as some of my other videos, but it seems like people do that watch my vlogs and they enjoy them. So I'm just going to put it out there for anyone who's interested in seeing, you know, what I was up to in Alaska and just seeing the beautiful views there. And so that's what I'm working on now to put up as soon as it's done. So probably by this weekend. So, and I am selling my camper, Roaming Robert. Yes, it's at Cash Campers in Alaska right now. They're selling it on consignment because I bought this in Alaska and I couldn't take both campers back with me. So since they're not a dealership, it's not like you trade it in. They're a camper builder and they're also an RV. They also repair RVs. So, yeah, so they're going to be selling it on consignment for me. So Pylon, he totally agrees. Yep. That being a nomad is the best thing. That's very true. No rent, no electricity bills. Yeah, it is great. Have you been out to Quartzsite in the winter? I have been a couple times, and like the past few years when my parents were ill, I wasn't because I had to keep going back to Florida. But now I have the time, and I would love to go out there and just go to some events out there. I've been to the RTR in 2020. That was the last time I was out to the RTR. But yeah, I would love to do that. So yeah, I'll be out there this winter. What changes in the works? Changes, like you mean personal growth changes when I said I'm making changes? I don't know if that's what you're talking about, Robert, but I can talk about that. Okay, thank you, Kentucky Lucky, that they want that you're talking about checking out my Alaska trip in New York. Yep, I vlogged about New York. I vlogged, like I did a tour of the that campground in Brooklyn. So yeah, I'll be putting all those up. Oh, thank you, Steve. Yeah, I think I am going to start doing more live streams because live streams used to scare the crap out of me. I would, and then I would get like more techie than I am right now. Like on purpose, I'm just using my laptop. So probably it's not the best, picture. It's probably not the best sound, but I would try to get fancy, but like use my phone and then use my laptop or use a camera or use my microphone, and like something would always go wrong. So this setup was a lot less stressful. It's kind of like a Zoom call with my friends, right? I just open it up and start answering questions. So yeah, after this experience, I didn't like almost have a nervous breakdown before I got on here. It was pretty easy. I'm opening to doing more live streams. What are you planning to move into? Like, I don't know what you mean, like the camper, or if you could just, tell me a little bit more about that. What am I planning to move into? And F350 diesel is a good solid truck. Will give you plenty of miles. Yeah. I know the one thing the one I have now is gas. And the only thing with the diesel, I don't like the smell and the sound, but people say that the loud noise, a lot of people love that diesel noise. I'm not a fan, but I don't know. People were telling me I'll check out a diesel. Yeah, when I go to buy it, because people were telling me that the newer diesel trucks don't have that. Like they're not as loud and they're not as smelly. So, no. Oh, okay. are you getting a new camper or are you making a major change in your lifestyle? Yeah, I did get a new camper and I guess in my lifestyle, I'm just working on, I guess personally, I'm just working on not like getting, all wrapped up in my head when it comes to YouTube and just, being more relaxed with life and accepting more and yeah, I'm just working on that to put out more content because that's what always happens to me. I get up in my head, I'll put out a vlog and it seems like the people who watch it really are interested in it. And then I'll say to myself, it doesn't matter how many views it gets, but then sometimes, I call them my back voices, the little voices in your head that are like saying you're not good enough, that you don't even have to like ask them. They're just there. I'm trying to work with them, and yeah, I don't even realize it. And then it sets me back. And then it's like 3 weeks since I put out a video. So, oh, thank you, Robert. Steve said I did good at live streams. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So diesel has a lot more power. Give up some capacity with it. Gasser weighs about 800 pounds. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, 800 pounds weight on Gasser. And that's I like when I originally was looking at for trucks for my new Camp Sears. Yeah, that's another reason why I went with a gas, because I was looking primarily at the payload. And it was a 250, so it had less of a payload than 350. And I still have the truck. It's a great solid truck. I've had it for 5 years and carried both my campers, so it's doing good. But yeah, I would want more. I don't know. Yeah, I'll research both gas and diesel. So, oh, thank you, Roaming Robert. So, okay, yeah, I'll have to research both, and I'll probably ask everyone's opinion if I'm between trucks and yeah. See, I love to hear other people's opinions of what kind of vehicle to get, because everybody has different experiences, and I want to be open-minded about it. So, okay. Okay, I think I'm gonna wrap this up. I can't believe I've been on here for 2 hours and 7 minutes. If anyone doesn't have any more questions, this has been fun. Thanks guys, and thanks for being on here. And yeah, oh, I didn't ask you to give me a thumbs up and yeah, I don't know, like it just fills my heart that you're on here and you're still supporting me when I haven't put a video out in a couple weeks, but it makes me feel good. So I appreciate everybody. I appreciate everybody telling me that, the information I put out has helped them in some way. And I appreciate you being here. So, yeah, so good night to everybody. Thank you so much. And yeah, my vlog is coming out soon about Alaska, and then I'll put the vlogs out about the campers, and hopefully you guys will get a lot out of that. So thank you so much. And the dogs are sleeping now. So bye everybody. Oh, thank you, Robert. Oh. Okay, bye-bye.